how I turned my life around and how you can too. So if you're brand new to my channel, appreciate you hopping on. I'm going to be briefly sharing with you kind of where I was, what I did, and what I recommend. So I graduated high school 2012, went to community college, worked at Hollister for 7.25 an hour, and I became an affiliate marketer. 2 years in, nothing worked out. Right? So imagine just putting yourself in my position where your parents are saying like go to school, get a degree, get a good job, become middle class, which is rightfully so. It's a good thing for them to recommend. But I was like, no, I don't want to be in the 9 to 5 rat race and be in the corporate world. This is not for me. And so they wanted the best for me, but I wanted to walk a different path. And so didn't work out. 2 years in, I had nothing to show for it, and I was embarrassed. I was nowhere close to my associates because I was failing and withdrawing classes. And so I packaged the military as this great opportunity, and I escaped from that mess that I created. And so within 5 years, I saved, learned to invest, made 140K, gave my parents 100K for them to buy this house in 2020, which was a fantastic decision at the time. Invested the remaining 40K into courses and programs in entrepreneurship, where within the last 3 years of my time in the military, I made roughly about 250 grand in commissions as a entrepreneur that worked remotely online while being in the military. And so now I'm in a very fantastic position, right? I work remotely, I make a lot of money online, and I get to travel, I get to do crazy things. Like, for example, this Thursday, I'm going to Korea for 3 weeks, and then after that, I'm going to Brazil for another 3 weeks because they have carnival over there in towards the end of February, going into March, and then maybe after that I'll just go to Japan or Thailand or something like that. So like I get to enjoy life, and my family gets to enjoy life because we get to go on vacations 2 or 3 times a year. Being an immigrant, we never went on vacations. My parents are learning how to play golf, and so like I recognize how grateful I am to be in this position, right? But here's the thing that I have done within my time in the military that really made a difference to where I am now. Because in comparison, a lot of other of my friends and peers would love to live the life that I live. And when I think about it, it's like, cool, all my friends that I served in the military, why are they still struggling and I'm not? And people who have not been in the military that are my friends that are just as smart, how are they still struggling and I am not, right? And I want you to have it because I just focused on 5 things, which is health, wealth, love, purpose, and faith. And so, excuse me, health wise, physical and mental, right? Every single day, just working on something, whether it's physical fitness or mental fitness by going to the gym or getting therapy or hiring a coach to be able to help you think differently or overcome. Like I had a therapist who helped me overcome different childhood events. I wouldn't say trauma, but like events that shaped a certain belief, right? So for example, I always see myself as a secondary person, right? Instead of a leader that leads from the front. And so I had to, when I went to therapy, they basically did, it's called a RIM session, reimagining image in memory, where growing up, I would always play sports, like for example soccer, and I would always play the goalie because my friends would always wanted to be the kickers, and for me to be involved in that social circle, I had to play a secondary role as a goalie. And so growing up, for me to always be involved, I just positioned myself always secondary instead of just being the leader that's out in the front. And so that just carried me on. And so like I had to overcome that through therapy and a bunch of other different things. So health, wealth, figuring out my baseline, how much money I make, just having a consistent flow of income, and the military was great for that. And so if you don't have a consistent flow of income, it's very important for you to have a consistent flow of income because, as the saying goes, you have to build a house on solid foundations instead of sand. Sand is where it's very inconsistent, right? You don't have a full-time job. You're an Uber driver or a Grubhub driver, and you don't have an actual 9 to 5 job. Because when that happens, one bad season, a car accident, a broken leg, family emergency, whatever it is, you're in a very tough spot, right? And so you have to have a consistent flow of income, which was one of the things that the military provided me to do, where then after that level of consistency, I could build something on top of it, right? Being able to be an entrepreneur, having the time and freedom to be able to figure out how I can make a lot of money, over the next, 6 months to a year, etc. And so for where I can build a good future. So wealth-wise, it's current and future. At the same time, investing into your education, right? I invested over the last 4 years, 160 grand into coaches, programs, and mentors. And so like my level of knowledge when it comes to building a business and entrepreneurship is that much higher. And so like just being able to be in that position is the second thing. And in terms of love, being close to your family, friends, family, friends, and romance, right? Those are three key components when it comes to love life. Just being able to make progress on that on a daily basis, right? You don't have to make progress on all three of those things, but like one day spend some time with family and just have deep conversations, and one day spend some time with friends. One day spend some time with yourself, right? Just learn to love yourself. And then one day spend time with, going on a date. And just, I would say that's a healthy life, right? And then purpose, just understanding that you're living for somebody else. Like, so for example, for me, within those 8 years of my time in the military, my biggest purpose was to be able to provide for my parents, right? For them to be able to own a house. And now I outgrew that purpose to be able to help them retire. I think I just need another like 300 or 400 grand that I want to give to them for them to retire comfortably. And I think I'd be good from that obligation of just as a son, immigrant son, just being able to do that for my parents. But after that, my other purpose is helping you guys just live the life that I live. And my purpose later on, 5-10 years from now will be different, because I imagine I'm going to be married, I'm going to have kids. And so my purpose will just be making sure that they're good too. So each and every single stage of your life, understanding that you have a purpose, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for somebody else, there is a good purpose that you have to recognize, what is true for you. And it's always ever changing. And you don't have to have one clear purpose for the rest of your life. It can just fluctuate. And then faith. For me, like I wasn't very religious, but I became very religious over time. And so just having a level of spiritual connection, I think, is very important. And so all that to say, I just worked on those 5 things consistently over 8 years. In some areas were definitely greater than others, right? So for example, in the beginning, right about in the 2020, like I gained a lot of weight, right? Like I was 200 pounds and I became 220 pounds. Whenever I go to tie boots, my gut would be in the way, but my money was going up, but my health would be down. And because my health is down, I always shaved my head to be able to save some money. Like imagine a shaven head, fat Asian guy, right? Like, I'm not the most confident guy when it comes to like dating and stuff. And so like, you go through different seasons, but I still worked myself out of it, right? Like right now, if you look at my videos 2 years ago, 3 years ago, compared to now, like I look completely different. Right? I'm more confident as a person. Like I got my hair highlighted. I look like a K-pop star, right? And like I'm much more fit. I would say, right? Got some muscle on me, and like I'm not making as much for sure. Like back then I was making like maybe like 15 to 20 grand on a monthly basis. Now it's like 10, fluctuates up and down, which is fine. Like I can go back into the grind mode if I need to. I enjoy kind of the balanced life that I live. And so all that to say, focus on those 5 things: health, wealth, love, purpose, faith. Health is physical, mental. Wealth is current and future, right? Having a stable source of income, and then investing a portion of your income into something that can build, whether it's like an actual business or getting a coach or a therapy to be able to help you see things clearly. Love, family, friends, romance, and then purpose, right? Just understanding your purpose. Is it like, it's okay to be materialistic, by the way. Like in the beginning, I was like, I want to buy a Lambo, but then it changed into, okay, instead of buying a Lambo, I want to buy my parents a house, right? So it's okay to have materialistic purposes because it always changes. Just find a purpose that motivates you to wake up and put in the work every single day. And then faith, being connected to something a bigger purpose, a higher being of your own, and just being surrounded by those individuals. And so those 5 things done consistently, day in and day out, is what helped me get to where I am. And I just lived within those parameters, because every single day, like, I would wonder, like, how should I live? What should I do? But just understanding I have a clear guideline, and just doing something to improve on those every single. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I don't have to have the most perfect workout, but as long as I do something, I'm good. And so if you want to see how I live on a daily basis, and I practice what I preach, follow me on Instagram, right? It's Mr. Yoon Kim. I share with everybody how I live those 5 things exactly on a daily basis. So hopefully this helped you guys. Peace.